magic markers, that's for folks to write whatever they need to read to make them stay out, since none of the signs along the fence stopped them. Well, we walked back up to the house. And Mr. Doom gave me the grand tour of where he stays, the kitchen where he cooks, his streaming area and such. So it was nice and all. But I asked, when do I get to see where Mrs. Doom hangs out? Mr. Doom looked serious and said, you need to sign a medical waiver for that. I said, what? A medical waiver? A medical waiver just for a house tour? Mr. Doom said, no. This waiver is for when Mrs. Doom catches wind that you even asked for one. I asked Mr. Doom, where is this cast iron skillet I've been hearing so much about on Twitch? So he ran downstairs to tell Mrs. Doom I was asking about her skillet. I turned around and Mrs. Doom was standing there with her skillet on her hip in a holster. Mrs. Doom looked me up and down and asked, so you're interested in old Sally? Patting her pan. The fact the skillet had a name that was even stenciled on the holster with a bunch of scratches. Now that should have been a warning, but I was like hearing a rattlesnake shake his tail and thinking it was his stomach growling. She asked me, you want the 3D experience or do you want the 4D experience? Well, me, being geezer, I puffed up my chest and said, give me the 50 if you got one. Mrs. Doom smiled, showed me her pretty pearlies, and asked Mr. Doom, he signed a medical waiver yet? Next thing I knew, and it was a while before I knew it, I was laid out on the sofa. That woman had hit me so hard that it sprained both my ankles and bent the axle on my truck. Mr. Doom looked at me, shaking his head. At least we know Mrs. Doom likes you. When she added another scratch to old Sally's holster, she put a little heart by it. Now, Mrs. Doom called from downstairs. Mr. Doom handed me the phone and said, it's for you. lady of the house asked me, "Are you family or are you a guest?" Well, I puffed out my chest, grinning, and said, "I'm family." I heard of a honeydew list, but I never knew there was such thing as a family do-over list. It's to fix everything Mr. Doom messed up on his list. I reached in my pocket for a smoke, and Mr. Doom ran up and yelled, "This is a smoke-free house. Don't you like breathing?" Well, I told him I've been smoking since I was knee-high and hadn't got lung cancer yet. So an old fella like me ain't afraid of getting it now. Doom said, "If you light that up in this house, cancer would be the least of your worries." You signed that medical waiver, right? You know how folk talk about when a tornado comes? It sounds like a freight train. Well, I heard the freight train sound, and Mrs. Doom came behind me. She was unfastening the guard on that there cast iron skillet hanging on her hip. I tell you what, I stopped cold turkey smoking right then and there. Now later, Mr. Doom and I was watching our favorite streamers. You know who you are. When Mrs. Doom called again. After a few words, Doom looked over and told me he was going down to watch a movie with Mrs. Doom. I asked if I could come too. I'm thinking this might be my ticket to get to see where those stairs actually go. Well, Doom bounced back up the stairs and said, "Well, I asked." He was rubbing his head at the time. Seems like there was a new bump on it. And he said, both Mrs. Doom and Sally says, "You're not invited." Well, I thought they must be, watching some romantic, something or other. Maybe like When Harry Met Sally or Titanic. Turns out they were down there watching the horror movie Child's Play. And they just didn't want me getting any ideas from Chucky. Well, later that evening, Mr. Doom and I was sitting out on the patio. Now, we were just watching the bugs getting zapped in the zapper. The barn cat came up and stretched out on the steps. Mr. Doom, he said, "This kind of a special occasion." And he went over to a cooler sitting in the corner It had 2 jugs and some jars. He came back with 2 frosted mason jars and a stone jug. He said to me, some things not safe to keep in the house. Doom said, now we're going to sit here and we're going to sip until that cat over there starts talking. So, sip, sip, zap, zap, sip, zap, zap. Look at the cat. The cat looks back. The cat looks back. Sip. Zap, zap. I look at the cat. The cat goes meow. So, sip. Zap. Boom! That was a big one. Cat was sitting up now. Meow. No zap. Guess the big one scared the others off. I was feeling real good right about now. So I decided to take a gulp. Gulp, gulp, gulp. When I looked over at that cat. That cat wasn't saying meow. He was standing on his hands, legs, swaying. Or maybe I was swaying. And he was singing. That cat was singing, take me out to the ball game. I elbowed Mr. Doom. I told him, that cat not only talking, he's singing and moonwalking. Doom looked over at me. Doom looked over and he said, Geez, I'm cutting you off. And this isn't even the good batch. I said, what? Mr. Doom pointed to the cooler. He said, for the other jug, you not only need the medical waiver, but you also need a notification form listing next of kin. But on the plus side, you'll get a discount at the funeral parlor since you would come in pre-embalmed. Well, to wrap things up, remember, I told you I was going to rap. After that sipping with Mr. Doom, I woke up a couple of days later in my truck, and there was a note on the dash. It read, guess